Greetings, Capricorn. Thanks for joining me for your reading for this new moon in Aquarius, which is today. It's the 1st of February. Today we're just going to read a random sentence from another favourite resource book, Bullfinch's Mythology. Let's see if we can find something appropriate for you, Capricorn. We come to the page Ariadne. We have seen in the story of Theseus how Ariadne, the daughter of King Minos, after helping Theseus to escape from the labyrinth, was carried by him to the island of Naxos and was left there asleep, while the ungrateful Theseus Theseus pursued his way home without her. Ariadne, on waking and finding herself deserted, abandoned herself to grief. But Venus took pity on her and consoled her with the promise that she should have an immortal lover instead of the mortal one she had lost. There you go, Capricorn. That's kind of a nice, moment to start on. Let's just have a look. We've got a journey map and a Brian Froud pixie and fairy face down, so we'll pull those up at the end. So let's get started. Looking at general energies, overarching energies around you at the moment. I'll just get these out. It's pretty hot here today. We have the Seven of Discs, so it looks to be like a review of sorts. Your choices at this time. We have the Devil. Interesting. We'll go through this when I've dealt them. Traits for ease. Your choice, the Devil. To enjoy the fruits of your labour, to enjoy traits for ease and moving forward. And the Thoth deck, the Devil, there's a really heavy emphasis on the Devil card that yes, it can be about bondage and being in bondage, being overly attached to material things or to anything for that matter. But there is also a really strong element to it that encourages you to enjoy the fruits of your labour, all the enjoyable material things that we have around us. So anyway, overarching energies, Seven of Discs. This is a card of, as I said, review. You're going backwards. You're looking back and seeing what worked in the past, what didn't. One would assume you're doing this for the purposes of wanting to put your best foot forward as we move currently, best foot forward. We're looking at past as the other side of the past here is like a anchor that holds us in patterns as well, patterns of behavior, patterns of movement, circular movement, could be anything. But we're reviewing that, Capricorn. So choices, the Devil, yes, there are these little bound figures in the thought forms here. We create thought forms all the time. And they are like their own entity. They can have a life of their own, even when we've moved beyond them. We will clarify these. Traits for ease, we have the Moon. So that we may not see. We might not be able to see that clearly at the moment. Or we feel that we're missing something in our landscape. We're not seeing the whole picture here, which is quite common, isn't it? Like, we can never see, generally. I do get this strong thing here about past and future. And this sort of, always there's a necessity to think in the present. This present time creates your future, does it not? So we have the Moon, indicative of those parts of our unconscious that we're not really too aware of. Again, this we see this in habits, behaviours, that people aren't aware of, their own behaviours often. This is a lifelong effort, isn't it, to be more aware of it. Anyway, moving forward, we have the glorious Six of Swords. This does indicate that whatever this process is for you, Capricorn, and do look at your rising moon or brain fog, Venus and Jupiter as well, cross watches, etc. as well. Cross watching for other signs also. Yeah, so Six of Swords, beautiful six, real great position on the tree of life. This is about moving to a calmer place, even if and actually specifically psychologically. You could look at it literally, like you're going on a journey or you're moving. There's a cleansing, purification of sorts as we move across water. We're kind of shedding some things along the way here. So all in all, it looks very much like a general review. There's a temptation there's a temptation with the devil to, I guess, on one level to continue to be bound by things that we don't necessarily want to be. And that's when we start to look a little bit more deeply and try and change things. So let's look at the Seven of Discs, please, for Capricorn. This happens so often. So we get the Seven of Discs again. Yes, it is a review. It's a total review time. Possibly looking back over the last year, the last 12 months. You have just sort of had your birthday not long ago. Can we just get one more card to clarify the seven? Please, Seven of Discs twice. Overarching energies. Possibly there's something in your environment where you sort of have to review as well. You have to do it. Okay, so we get the Ten of Cups. Look, you can see all the bounty and all those choices that you have made in the past that's led you to this point. There's a lot of love around you. You're seeing it in Malkut. In the physical material world around you, you are seeing it. This is very bountiful, very happy card. You recognize it. You see how lucky I mean, that's just what I hear. You see how lucky you are, in these times of great change and conflict and chaos, that we're all experiencing here on the planet. You really appreciate this because this is a wonderful place to be, Capricorn. Ten of Cups. You're seeing your efforts come back tenfold. Choices. The Devil, please. Can we clarify the Devil for Capricorn? Very Capricornian card, Saturnian. Saturn's doing some hard task mastering at the moment as well. Up there. Can we clarify the Devil for Capricorn? We get the Eight of Swords. As I said earlier, maybe there's you feel limited in your choices at this time for whatever reasons. Usually the Eight of Swords is about it's internal. It's just your mind. You're seeing yourself limited and bound, and in fact, in reality, you're not. It's a mindset. With that came out another 10. To me, it is feeling like the beginning of a new cycle. These 10s are kind of, to me, often are like an exclamation mark, actually, for that suit, that you've come through the entire suit. And as glorious as the 10s are, of course, the 10 of Swords, that's slightly different, but glorious in its own way because it's an epiphany, it's an aha moment. But the glorious 10s, it is the end of that suit. So we see with the Devil and the limitations. What did I say? As I said earlier, maybe there are some things that that don't serve you anymore. You need to alter some behaviours or habits or whatever they are that just don't serve you anymore. We get the 10 of discs coming out here. This is the 10 of discs is interesting because it is about seeing bounty in your world around you. Obviously, you're seeing it. It's physical. It's around you. It also indicates questions of loyalty and values. We have loyalties to family, to workplaces. We have loyalties to all sorts of things. Sometimes our values shift. And I guess one of the more painful ones is when our loyalties shift. For whatever reasons, often a precursor to this is a sort of growth, you know. It just depends how you need to or choose to deal with it. And this is in the position of choice. But we see a level of limitation that you are feeling. So yeah, interesting, Capricorn. Let's just see if we can clarify the moon. Traits for ease. I guess trust. You can't always see every step toward the goal that you have, if that's the situation, or you can't always see what the outcome will be. I mean, we can't always have expectations of something turning out in a particular way, is what I get. To clarify the moon, Capricorn, this beautiful moon landscape here, we have the Hermit. You may well be going through a time where you really have gone inward here, and you're enjoying that because it's allowing you to move through some things. I do get the sense of some sort of confrontation, I mean, but it's not from anywhere else. It's within yourself. Some sort of, you're confronting yourself with something. The Hermit's a beautiful card because it can be a guiding light for others also through a period of time. I do get the feeling here that that there could be a part of this that you feel limited in your capability to actually facilitate something for someone else. I do get a strong sense of that. So let's just have a wee look at the Six of Swords, please. For Capricorn, the Six of Swords. Let me clarify that. Capricorn. So moving to you're definitely in the process of moving across that water, of moving to a calmer place in your mind mentally, you know. I think the Hermit's the key for that. The Hermit is the key, shining a light into some of the dark corners there, Capricorn, if we put it that way. Well, we've got far too many cards coming out, but let's just have a wee look anyway. First one, face up. The Four of Swords, rest and respite. To actually have a mental shift will allow you that. And in fact, I think you need to, sort of, you need to really ditch this for one thing. That's you, self-limitation, that is, in order for some movement forward. That movement in itself will give you this respite. But as I say, you know, you can't, we try not to have too many expectations, you know, projected forward. Anywho, we've got quite a few cards, and I'll just pull them out in a general overview of how they came up. Capricorn, we've got the Seven of Wands. We've got the Seven of Wands, feeling that you need to stand up for yourself, being defensive. It is similar to the Nine, but the Seven, on one side, it is about having really good self-esteem and knowing what you want and knowing what you're not prepared to accept. Then on the extreme side, it's like the drama queen. Always, you know, it's like, no, it has to be this way. It has to be my way. It has to be that way. So we have that fellow or felless. Then we have the King of Wands, life and soul of the party, very impulsive, will-driven, very charismatic figure. We have happiness. We know where our happiness lies, Capricorn, here. We have it. We see it. We don't necessarily want to take it for granted, but it's quite, you know, it allows us a sort of emotional independence. Then we have a beautiful card of balance and mutual offerings, receivings with the Two of Cups. This really is about balance. And then we have the Queen. The Queen is quite detached, being a watery queen of water. At the same time, that is why she is a queen, because she has a level of detachment which in fact allows her to give without compromising herself all the time. You know, she knows when to recharge here. There's movement's the key here somehow. Some level of movement in perspective. We have the Maiden. We have the Maiden here. Look, something new is coming. I mean, I say that in the sense that we're always in that process, that something new is coming. I guess it's sort of like in this reading, it's very much past and present and a level of difficulty in the now, even though on the surface it appears to be kind of honky-dory, but in your own head it's not totally, is what I get from this. But there will be a period of you know, movement and respite. The Maiden card is about change, inevitability of change. It's a prepubescent card, so we know that puberty is coming, but it's not just a sort of pubescent card, because these transitions happen all through life at various points for all of us. Quiet resignation, an inevitability, an excitement, a quiet excitement, because we don't know what's next. We can't see that. But we can be well prepared, Capricorn, for whatever, however the dice falls, you know, over the next month or so. What is playing out and how it plays out. We have control over our reaction to that, I guess is what I'm trying to say. We don't need to actually see definites here in order to be able to deal with it. So I guess the maiden, there's a quiet excitement that new things are afoot. It did come with the Brian Froud card, Pixie and Fairy Oracle of the Glencona. This card is just about being very aware of not only one's own illusions, but other people's as well. I think it is described in the book as a sort of potential used car salesman, a self, what's the term, narcissistic kind of figure. On the other hand, I tend to go along more with the idea that just be wary. I think there's a need to go inward, Capricorn, for a level of self-protection, actually, even. Not that this is any sort of boogeyman or anything like that. But there is, I do sort of sense that a need for a level of protection. Don't sort of blow all your fuses all at once, Conserve energy here. This is quite an unusual reading, Capricorn, but I hope you got something out of it. So thanks for joining me here today, and we'll see you next time, a couple of weeks away for the full moon. Thank you. Ka kite, bye. Cherry Cap.